Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations with Marvelous. And before I introduce my co-host, just got some minor announcements. People asked me what happened to yesterday's guest. Well, I'm just going to let you guys know, especially those who are looking forward to becoming podcasters, that many times you're going to go through things like this. Guys just cancel at the last minute, and that's pretty much what happened. The guy just said, I'm not going to be able to make it. Keep in mind, he was booked weeks in advance. And for those of you guys that want to one day become a podcaster, always come up with a plan B, okay? I've done it before. I just figured I'm not going to stress over it and try to get somebody here immediately. I'm not going to do that. When you cancel about an hour before the show, and most likely I will never book you again. So just know that, and you know what, stick to your guns. If anybody does that to you, don't book them again. Now, if they have to be rescheduled and they ask in a timely manner, then work it out with them. But when they just do shit like that, like really quick, nah, I'm good with you. But other than that, Sunday, we were at the Sunday in the Park, and I had promised to all the members that if you become a member, we would have footage of all the concerts that I would attend, or other concerts where I would be performing, or other concerts where I would be podcasting. And I was podcasting there, and we also performed. So all that footage, I think it's like about between 47 to 50 minutes now. It's available. You get to see all the behind the scenes. You get to see Magic, Little Rob. You get to see Pepe Marquez. You get to see High C. You get to see everybody on there. So if you're a member, it's available to you. If you have not become a member, then I encourage you. Some people say, well, how much does it cost? Look, I always said you probably spend more money on a tall cat in a Dodger Stadium than you would in 1 month becoming a member. It's that cheap. You would probably spend more money at Starbucks in 1 week than you would becoming a member on Tony Vision. Okay, it's not that much. So other than that, I encourage you, if you guys want to check out that footage, we got some more concerts that we're going to be doing soon, and we're going to be providing that only for our members. Once again, thank you guys for becoming members, and thank all you future members. Other than that, thank you so much for everybody that attended the concert on Sunday. Thank you, everybody on the live chat. Thanks, everybody who's commenting. Thank everybody who's subscribed, liked, comment, shared, all of that good stuff. And for those who liked and disliked, it doesn't matter. You guys still watching, but smash that like button. Let's keep all them likes up. You know what's funny? The most likes we ever had was when we said Norbies would drink Bud Light if we hit 400 likes. And we hit 400 likes really easy.
Damn.
Okay, I'm all out of Bud Light, and it's not news of Norby today, but let's smash that like button. Other than that, we're going to jump right into it, and be ready, because we are going to open up the phone lines. So if we don't get to your question that you had written on the community on YouTube, call in and ask us, okay? Because believe me, we have over 80 questions, and I know we're not going to be able to get to all 80. So we will get to the ones that we can. And again, if we don't get to yours, call in. Other than that, without further ado, please allow me to introduce Marvelous. Marvelous, how you doing?
I'm doing good, bro.
You know what? Before we actually jump into our conversation, let's give your show a plug. You were just live, I believe, 2 days ago?
Yeah, correct.
It was 2 days ago. Mm-hmm. And if you want to kind of like walk us through, what was that episode like? If you don't mind adjusting your mic a little bit. It's all good. Right there.
It was pretty good. It went pretty smooth. I mean, thanks to, your team. Awesome job. But yeah, it was pretty good. That episode was about vendors and about, just a lot of stuff that's going on in the community, and how we feel as though people were being attacked out here,
Yeah.
A lot of it has to do with like the stuff that I want to put out. I mean, it's just all about the community,
Yeah. I mean, and there's a lot more stuff I know you're going to be delivering that you'll be coming out with, because I know you're doing live episodes, you're taking phone calls, but you're also going to be doing teaching on a lot of the things that people want to know about. Again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but people are always talking about aliens, reptilians, people in the center of the earth, and, is the earth flat and all that stuff. And eventually you're going to get to that and cover that.
Yeah.
But people have to understand that takes time.
Yeah.
You just can't just say the earth is flat, ta-da.
Yeah.
You want to show it, at least prove it, on why you believe the way you do.
Yeah.
So, but I think it'll be good. And now backing up to Sunday, we were at the concert together, and a lot of great performance. A lot of people showed up, and a great crowd. Overall, what was your opinion about the MC Magic, Baby Bash, Little Rob, High C, J Rocks concert overall? What was your opinion?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me. That was
welcome.
like I loved it. It was an honor to meet everybody that all the rappers, everybody. Man, a huge amount of respect for MC Magic. Man, you just see how long the line was for everybody to take a picture with him, and he stayed right there like dedicated. That's dedication, man. I know a lot of dudes that would get tired of that shit, but yeah, that was dope. There was a young rapper, a girl. I think it's is it J-Rocks? Is it the one that was wearing the green sweats?
The green sweats, yes.
Yeah, her. I don't know how old she is or whatever, but I love the way she conducts herself. When you interviewed her, she's very like outspoken. The way she even talks is very like she seems like she has a lot of morals. Like just.
Well, you know what? I will say this, and we're going to be getting into this. She is raised right by a good father and a good mother. I met the father on several occasions. I wish he was there because he watches this podcast,
right?
And he spoke very highly of you. So I was hoping that Freddie would be there so that I could have introduced you to him.
Yeah. But
she has great parents. He's a good dude. He just couldn't make it. I know he coaches his son. I think it's year-round like baseball, if I'm correct. But, she went up there and did her thing, and I like the way she conducts herself. That was actually, I think, the third time that I've interviewed her.
Yeah.
I believe I gave her first live podcast interview. And she's always conducted herself well. She sang here. I believe the first time she came with MC Magic. And then after that, she came by herself.
Yeah.
And then a Sunday, we did an interview with her. But yeah, I think that sky's the limit for people like her who continue to be rooted and grounded and humble.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, overall, all the performances were dope as hell. Like, they were badass. We got a lot of fucking talent. A lot of talent within our community, our raza. Well, everywhere, But yeah, hell yeah, it's fucking bad.
Yeah, I had a great time. You know what? But like I said, I think a lot of people that have never seen Magic stand there and meet every single fan.
He stood there for hours, bro.
Yeah, I know. And you know what? And people see that, and that's why they love him, and they gain a whole different other respect for him because, again, like we say here, without the fans, we are absolutely nobody.
Right.
So
yeah,
the good thing is, and it's a good family-friendly environment, and that's the dope thing, that families win, even with some of their kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ate some tacos de carne asada. I thought they were good. Either that or I was just hungry. But it was good. You know what? At those kind of events, I have a great time, man. I've done the To Live and Die in LA twice. I'm going to be doing it again, but I would like to do more. I did one dispensary, and I told people I hired, but I'm for hire, but I'm not for free.
Yeah.
So anybody wants to hire me to do their dispensary or to do their concert, let me know, and we'll go from there. But other than that, Marvelous, today is Thursday, if I'm correct, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm like, my mind is everywhere right now. How has your week been going? Still tattooing a lot?
Yeah, man, it's been kind of slow this week, though, because I took some time off for my dental appointments and stuff like that. So I'm trying to play catch up right now. But other than that, it's cool, man. I'm always with my kids, or we're always chopping it up or sending each other dumb videos. So, time flies,
Now, I wanted to ask you, did anybody recognize you Sunday? At the Sunday in the Park?
A lot of people recognize, yeah.
Really?
Dope. And I mean that in a humble way, yeah. It was an honor, like, for as much people as they did recognize me. That was dope. Like, it was cool,
It's funny. One guy, I don't know who it was, but he was standing in line with his girl to meet MC Magic, and I was giving away stickers, and these stickers had a QR code where you could scan it with your phone, and it takes you directly to either my page or the Tony Vision YouTube page, okay? Which I encourage you to do.
Yeah.
Okay. And one guy sees me and he goes, "Hey, is that Marvelous over there with you guys?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, why?" He goes like, "Is he gonna perform?"
No. Nah, hell no. What am I gonna do? The fucking Macarena out there?
But that's all he asked me. So my wheels started spinning. I'm like, man, maybe hosting. You never know.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You never know. Okay. There's 3 topics that I want to talk about. There's something I wanted to start, something new. Last time you were here was like 2 weeks ago, and we talked about 3 different topics. And for those of you guys that have not seen it, go check out our last conversation. On the caption, you see what we talked about, and I'll put on the caption again what we talk about on this one. We talk about 3 different topics, and then we go into questions, and then we take phone calls. On this one, the first topic that I want to talk about was probably when I was in my 20s, was one of the hardest ones for me to deal with. And we probably have viewers that are probably going through this, either with friends, family members, etc. And it is the word forgiveness. Forgiveness. Some people say, "Oh, forgive and forget," and it's that easy. A lot of times it's very, very hard because we don't know what somebody has done to us, where somebody in the outside, if we just tell them, well, that person did me wrong, and they don't know the severity of it, it's so easy for somebody from the outside looking in saying, "Oh, just forgive and forget." And you don't realize what that person might have done, okay? Now, so my question is, should we forgive, and why should we forgive? Do you, Marvelous, believe in forgiveness?
I do. But now, everything that I've been through, bro, I do to a certain extent. Like, you're going to give somebody so much, until they keep fucking up or whatever. I mean, you gotta pull their cover, bro. Like, you can't be. Man, how do you say it? I mean, you know me personally, and you've seen some of the instances that I've been in or whatever, or little controversy topics that I've been through, and a person will come at you and be like, "Hey, I'm sorry. This will never happen again. You're the homie, whoop-de-whoop." And the next week they're on fucking YouTube talking shit. Like, what the hell? Didn't you just fucking give me a whole apology, homie? Like, I forgave you. Like, why would you go do that? But in a relationship too, I think it's even harder if you love that person, like,
right.
How could you forgive somebody that cheated on you, or that was sending other people, like, I mean, just looking for attention or whatever? I don't know, bro. Like, I mean, I don't know.
When I was younger, and I'll be honest with you, this is probably one of the toughest topics for me to talk about, because when I was younger, I was miserable for a long time. When I say younger, in my early 20s, I was miserable for a long time. And it should have been a great time in my life because I had record deal money, I had my own place, I had a nice car and everything, but I was very miserable. And when I finally talked to the man that blessed me with books and imparted in me knowledge, he said, "I know why you are the way you are." And I said, "Why is that?" And he says, "Because you haven't forgiven." And I didn't understand that. So he said, "Who hurt you?"
Yeah.
So I began to share things with him. And it was the hardest thing for me to open up.
Yeah.
I trusted this person a little bit,
Yeah.
And the more I saw that I could trust him, the more I opened up. But on a side note, let me say this. We have to be careful who we open up to.
Right.
Because that person could have a running mouth.
Yeah.
We have to be careful on who we open up to. So I opened up to this individual. This guy was in his 50s. I was in my 20s. And he taught me about forgiveness. And he has said, "Should we forgive?" He said, "And why should we forgive?" And he opened up a scripture for me. And he said, before I share that, I have to backtrack a little bit and share something that he asked me. He said, "You had read the Gospels, right?" And I goes, "Yeah." He goes, "What is something that you find that you're having a hard time dealing with?" And I said this: "Loving your enemies." And he said, "Why?" And he said, "Because I can't do that."
Yeah.
Okay. And then he gave me a whole explanation, which was a beautiful explanation. But he showed me something. He goes, "You missed something." And I said, "Okay." And he goes, "The reason why we have to forgive is so that we can be forgiven." He said, "If not, you are going to incarcerate yourself. You're going to hold that person in your own prison in your heart. And every once in a while, you're going to want to pull them out and sock them up a couple of times and put them back."
Yeah.
Instead of just releasing it. Now, why should we forgive? So not only so that we can be forgiven, but for our own peace.
Right.
Because let's be honest, a lot of times when we don't forgive someone, regardless whether they deserve it or not, and this is my whole point, we have to have peace.
Yeah.
So we do it for that reason and so that we may be forgiven. Now, if they still want to consider to be themselves a carnal jerk, If I couldn't live with unforgiveness, I wonder how they're living.
Yeah.
You know?
You ever see that image, bro? And I remember it being in a lot of cartoons where a person's gonna pack up and move away, and they have this long branch, and they have like a little fucking bag at the end of the branch, and they're walking through, the forest or wherever they're walking to.
Right.
And that bag is a representation of life. From a young age or whatever, you're carrying this bag and you're collecting disrespect, you're collecting love. You're collecting all kinds of stuff that you're learning, wisdom, trials, tribulations, blessings. You're putting them in this bag. And this bag you can only carry so long. You're taking it with you. And it reminds me of the story. I don't know if you remember. I think I told this story about the two monks that they're traveling. They're traveling, and there's an elder monk, an older monk, and he takes a disciple. And the disciple is a younger monk, and he wants to learn everything from this guy. He has to be quiet and just watch, listen. And use his wisdom to the best of his ability. And they come to this point in the where they're traveling to, where there's a wild river and it's running crazy. And there's a beautiful woman she's trying to cross, and she's asking for help. And the younger guy is like, no, we're not supposed to even touch women. We took a oath of celibacy. We're not supposed to engage or indulge or none of that. Pay her no attention. And the older monk takes it upon himself to help her across the river. So he puts her on his shoulders and he walks her across the river. And the whole time, the younger monk is so mad. He's so bothered by it. And he's like, man, what the hell? Forget this guy. This is what I'm learning from, whatever. So later on that night, when they're amongst the fire and they're talking, and the older monk tells the younger monk, I know you have something on your mind. Go ahead and let it out. And the younger monk says, I'm bothered. I'm mad. I'm frustrated. We took an act of celibacy, and you're right here touching on this woman and this and that, and you carried her across the river. And he goes, yes, I did carry her across the river, but why are you still carrying her?
Wow.
Yeah. It's like you got to learn when to let go of things, and if we keep holding on to this shit, it's a burden. It becomes a burden. People, you could ask I could give you a feather right now, and I could tell you, hey, homie, how long can you hold this feather up? You could be like, it's a feather. I can hold it forever. Hold that feather out.
Yeah.
Every minute, it's going to get heavier and heavier till that feather becomes 1,000 pounds to you, bro.
Yeah.
And you're not, so that's, no?
No, you are absolutely right about that, because you know what? I've been around people that were hurt people. Mm-hmm. Somebody hurt them, but they didn't release. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
That pain through forgiveness. Now, are we sitting here and saying that it's easy? No, we're not saying that. Mm-hmm. And let's be honest. Look, I was mad at a guy for 10 years. 10 years. And I carried that unforgiveness heavyweight bag with me. Mm. And then when I finally talked to this guy and I wanted to tell him, he was surprised. He didn't even know I was angry at him. And then I wanted to look at myself in the mirror and say, wow, I carried that bag of unforgiveness and misery mm-hmm. that long. Mm-hmm. Me personally, when somebody does you wrong, it's tough, man. It's tough. There was a guy, okay, that stole something from me, okay? Mm-hmm. And he became pretty successful, and he made some money off of it, okay? Stole something from me. So one day we sat down, and this was maybe about 2 years later. I finally told him, hey, man, I want to talk to you. Mm-hmm. The reason why I didn't want to talk to him, Marvelous, because I knew I would do or say something that would last a lifetime. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to do that. So I'd rather stay away from him for my protection, mm-hmm. Because of me, because I know what I would have done to that guy. Mm-hmm. So I finally talked to him, and I asked him this. Hey, can I ask you something, man? I said, I just want you just answer me this one question. He goes, what's up? He thought I was going to come at him and curse at him and, swing at him. I just said, have you ever stole anything? And he said, stole anything? He said, yeah. He goes, even if it's small in value, have you ever stole anything? He goes, you mean like the commandments, like thou shalt not steal? And I said, yeah. Have you ever stole anything? He said this, I never stole anything. Mm-mm. Okay? And something came over that guy where he humbled himself. He looked away from me and he said this, no, I have. He said, I have. And I said, what was that? And he goes, your idea.
Mm.
He stole my idea and made money off of it.
Wow.
Now, I carried that unforgiveness for a long time, man. And believe me, it is not worth it.
Yeah.
It is not worth as now somebody may say, Tony, how did you release it? I'll speak for myself. How did I release it? I had to pray about it, bro. Because one thing, we as a people, we cannot go around with bitterness, unforgiveness in our hearts, because it will bring us down, man. We will become miserable people. And let's be honest, we carry those vibes. I don't want to be around somebody who's always talking about someone.
Yeah.
Who's always got something negative. And it's like, man, who did this to you? You know, so that's how I would get rid of my, if you will, my unforgiveness, was to pray about it. Somebody told me, you can't hate somebody or be angry at somebody that you pray for. Let God give you that love to release that person so that way you can have your peace.
Yeah.
If somebody would ask you, Marvelous, how do you forgive people? Where do you find peace in all of this?
You know what? In these years now, I've done similar to what you're saying about praying with it, but more than that, to be honest with you, bro, I just separate myself from them. You know, people that do me dirty or they're not about their word. You seen it this instant. You seen it this weekend with an individual, bro, and he wasn't about his word. He spent all day at my pad, and the team can vouch for it, trying to convince me how much of a man he was. He's down, he's loyal, this and that, starting his YouTube channel, and he's known out there. He's known. And that next day, bro, it's just like all that shit went down the tube from you know, and it's like, it shouldn't bug me that much, but it's like, man, you spent all day, homie, trying to convince me. And that ain't nothing compared to a lifetime. Like, imagine you being in a lifetime and your wife or you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever that you got. And this person, you think you have the utmost respect for them, and they go and turn around and do you dirty, and you're sitting there like, I've invested so much, I just invested money, time, I've given you things, I've talked to you, I've been there for you when you were down and out, and you're gonna go ahead and do me like that? What do you do? What do you do in that instant? You can't just say, oh, I'm gonna stop and pray for you. Like, you just gotta remove yourself, and later on when you get back to your energy that you had, then pray about it, I guess, you know. But in that moment, you want to choke that person out. You know what I mean?
And you're absolutely right. And we can both agree that it doesn't happen overnight, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen overnight. So if somebody's out there watching, and maybe you're having an issue with this, maybe your husband, maybe your boyfriend, maybe your girlfriend, maybe your wife, maybe your brother, maybe even a mother or a father did something to you. Yeah. And it's hard to say, you know, I'm not going to forgive. The thing is this, you have to learn to forgive them so that you can find peace within yourself. Yeah. You know, don't incarcerate yourself, you know, because some of those people may not even care. Yeah. Now, do they deserve it? Probably not. Okay. But you know what? But we deserve our peace. So we have to release it and let it go. Now, I just want to add one more thing, because people today have interpreted forgiveness as in forgive them and accept them back into your life. Correct. You don't have to do that. Correct. Don't let anyone deceive you into thinking that you have to forgive them and accept them back. Because I've had people that have wronged me, and I had brothers and sisters. Well, if you forgave him, you know, invite him back over. No, I don't want him around me. I cut him off. I forgave him. I waved at him or her from a distance, and that's it. Yeah. But I'm not going to continue to allow a broken person that continues to repeat the same cycle with everyone. Yeah. You know, why would I want to let them back in? That's not wisdom. It's not. You know, so, yeah, you don't have to accept. If you want to on your own, go for it. But a broken woman or a broken man will continue to break people wherever they go. Yeah. That's all they'll do. Thanks. So, but that's a tough one. Forgiveness is a tough one. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. Okay. And this is a quote. Honestly, I didn't know it was a Machiavelli quote, but I first saw this and heard this on the movie The Bronx Tale. Great movie. Great movie, directed by Robert De Niro. Yeah. Probably one of my favorites. Yeah. You know, and they chose a unique. I can't do coffee cake. Yes, exactly. I like the fact that they used that Italian kid's name, Colleggio. Yeah. I've never heard that name until that movie. For real. You know, so that was a dope that was a dope name and a dope movie. So Sonny, I guess the main mob guy, tells that kid C, which is Colegial in the movie, and he says, "Is it better to be feared? Is it better to be feared than or to be loved?" So before we answer that, Alex, I want you to put it on the poll and put, "Is it better to be feared or loved?" Okay. So is it better to be feared than to be loved? So let me read a little bit. It says, if one cannot be both, he argues that fear is a better motivator than love, which is why it is the more effective tool for leaders. And that's what Machiavelli said. Some people throughout life have lived off of, I'd rather be feared than loved. Some people say, I'd rather be loved than feared. My question to you, Marvelous, is this, and this is the deep one. I want you to think about it. You being from the streets and you have a history of being in the streets, would you rather be feared or loved?
When it comes to street, and I'll just be specific. If it's like a gang setting, it's better to be feared. Everything that you're gonna do or accomplish, or the name that you're gonna make is gonna gravitate towards fear. Like you have to push that line and be dominant. You have to be aggressive and at the offense at all times. No defense, just straight offense, offending people. Like you got to be that way, and that's how you're gonna make it in that. And I hate to say that, right. But and just general life and family or relationship, it's better to be loved. But when it comes to street or stuff like that, feared 100%.
So I guess is it safe to say depending on the setting, because you mentioned both?
Yeah, depending on the setting.
Okay, because that's what here in this quote Machiavelli said, that if one cannot be both, he argues that fear is a better motivator than love, which is why it is more effective tool for a leader.
Yeah.
And on the streets, there are a lot of leaders that are feared. Mm-hmm. You know, and when I say leaders, I'm not saying that there is a leader of a gang.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, look, growing up 80s and 90s, we knew, and I say this not in a, well, I'm just going to say it. We knew who was a real gangster.
Right.
We knew that this or this other person was about what he said he was about. Mm-hmm. Or, you know, we all knew that this guy was a baller. Mm-hmm. You know, nobody had to pretend or elaborate and tell you, Marvis, let me tell you, you know, why I'm the hardest dude in my neighborhood. Nobody said that. Mm-mm. We all just knew, okay, that guy right there is the real one.
Yep.
That guy right there is the real one. Okay. And that's how your reputation, if you will, preceded you. Right. Everybody knew who Marvelous is. Everybody knew who this guy is. Okay. Today it is so different because there are so many people, and if I can use this word, want to be a leader, that everybody thinks they're real ones because they're on social media saying, I'm a real one.
Yeah.
You know, I've had out-of-towners that have come here, and they said, man, who is this guy? This guy's a real one. I'm like, he's a real gangster. Okay, and I'm not even going to say who it was, but let's just say that some of these guys are some of the guys that I'm talking about. What's up, fool?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And I'm like, look, bro, don't let social media
fool you.
Honestly, don't let social media fool you. Me, personally, I would just rather be loved. You know, I know sometimes maybe we want both, you know, but I would rather be loved. But I understand what you're saying because of your background. In the movie, this guy Sonny, who was like a mob boss, he felt that he had to live that way. Mm-hmm. You know, he felt that he didn't have no other way, because if he didn't put his foot down, guess what? The next guy is going to walk behind you, clip you, and it's a done deal. Yeah. So there's got to be a certain extent of fear for the guy not to want to do that, knowing the repercussions.
Yeah.
You know, so I get it. And I understand when you say depending on the setting.
That movie's deep because you could look at it from so many angles, and like if you look at it from Sonny, his point of view, he's entangled in this gangster lifestyle, this mob lifestyle where you don't trust nobody. You wake up, you take your gun to the shower, everything's surrounded about just death. You know, you're contemplating when you're gonna die. When are you gonna die? And I think his way out, or not a way out, but his sort of relief was having Cologeno around. Because he comes from a family. He's not involved in that life. And here's somebody he could talk to about something he can't talk to the rest of the mob guys. And it's sort of his breath of fresh air. So he's trying to school him and give him as much wisdom. And that's good because he's getting a lot of wisdom. But Cologeno's part now, he's coming from a family setting where it's love. His dad is trying to groom him and share as much wisdom and raise him like that. But this young kid is looking up to this gangster lifestyle. And he doesn't understand the consequences that come along with it until the end, where he gets to see his friends get killed for trying to be, a wannabe, literally. And it takes Sonny's death for him to realize, man, is it better to be my dad was right all the time. He was right the whole time. He wanted me on that bus with him to protect me from the street. He talked to me about all this and that to protect me from the street, from what I was involving myself in. Yeah. And I don't see it until I'm way grown up or it's way too late, and it sucks. It's sad, because we try to tell, or, we try to talk about these on this podcast and stuff. And we got youngsters that are viewing us talk about it, and they look at us like, oh, those are the older guys. Well, they're still alive, so I'll probably make it too. Well, nah, you might not be that person to make it. No. I lost a gang of homeboys. Yeah, I've been to a lot of funerals. I have a lot of rest in peace sweaters that I've had, and that's sad. These are homies that, we shared dinner together. I know their moms. They know my gramps. They call my grandpa. Yeah, it's like, it's sad.
I had this one 16-year-old kid tell me, "Well, you live this long. I'm only 16 years old. I got my life ahead of me."
Yeah,
and I said, "Bro, the graveyard is full of 16-year-olds, bro.
Yep,
full of 16-year-olds.
Yep,
that thought just like you.
Yep."
One of the most powerful scenes in that movie for me as a father, trying to raise my family, was when Robert De Niro, which was C's Colegialo's father, walks in to Sonny and he returns back the money and says, "We cannot accept this." Mm-hmm. And Robert De Niro kind of raises his voice, and Sonny gets up and he goes, "Hey, I treat that kid like if he's my son." Mm-hmm. And Robert De Niro said, "But he's not your son." Mm-hmm. So Sonny gets in his face and he says this, because he, in a sense, Robert De Niro, in a sense, feared Sonny. And this is what I mean by he feared him. He had the respect for him because he said, "Sonny, I know who you are. I know what you can do, and I will never cross that line. Mm-hmm. But this is my son."
Yeah.
Okay? And I commend any father that will stand up for his family like that against a person like that. Mm-hmm. He respectfully addressed him and told him, "Look, bro, I'm not trying to come at you some way, but stay out of my son's life." Mm-hmm. So I understand when people say, "I'd rather be feared." Cool, I get it. And everything, but on the other hand, Robert De Niro was being that loving father that will stand up to anybody in the name of love to protect his family.
Yeah,
and that's what made me bring this up. Is it better to be feared than to love? And that's only you people out there would be able to answer that. How long has that question been up there, Alex? Okay, we'll give it about another 6 minutes. We'll come back. Okay. Anything you want to add to that, or you want to move on?
No, that's about. I mean, we touched on basically all of it.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. Now, this is another one that I kind of like. We've been seeing ever since this administration has been in office, and it's where have all the leaders gone? Is there any more leaders? Now, the reason why I bring this up, because I truly believe that men's masculinity is being taken away. And if there's no, if you will, leadership in the home for the children to look up to, now the next generation is going to grow even worse. Less masculinity. Then less masculinity. Then there's not going to be any more men.
Right.
Any more. And when I say men, I'm talking about leaders.
Right.
Now, we could define leadership or leaders in many different forms. We could say supervisor, a boss, a foreman, etc. Or we can use the world or the streets in general, okay? There's leaders on the streets, good leaders. Mm-hmm. Then we got good leaders in at work, foremen, or whether they're supervisors or bosses or whatnot. But I do want to define a good leader and a bad leader in a work environment. Give you an example. There was a guy at work, and I'll say his name because I didn't really care for him. His name was Ray, and a supervisor.
Yeah.
And, look, at our job, it was all raza and blacks. All the supervisors We're all white. Okay. It literally was a county jail atmosphere in there.
Yeah.
Right here in the city of Compton. And this guy one day walks up to me. Now, the rule is this. You clean as you go. Clean as you go is this. Say there's a piece of paper by your cousin. He's a supervisor. If he saw it first, by rule, he has to pick it up. The supervisor stopped, and he waited for me to walk up to it, and he tells me, pick that shit up. And he told me just like that. I just kept walking, and he said, get over here. And he started yelling.
Oh,
and
no.
I yelled back at him. He goes, you're raising your voice at me? And I go, yeah, because you're raising your voice at me. I go, you talk to me that way, I'll talk to you this way. And he said, well, I'm only talking to you loud because the warehouse is loud. I go, yes, it is. Bro, like, you're not going to win with me. Yeah. You know, and then I just told him, bro, clean as you go. It was right there. He goes, pick that shit up, Alvarez. I said, you know, I'm not picking it up. He goes, I could fire you for insubordination.
What the
And I was
heck?
like, do what you got to do, but you got to follow the rules too.
Yeah.
That's not a good leader. He was a supervisor that was given that position because he kissed his ass all the way to the top.
Yeah.
He had no leadership qualities. There was another guy, probably the only raza, okay? The only raza that was a supervisor. And I will say this. I would have bent over backwards for that guy. Because that guy said, like, Antonio, come here. And I was like, what's up? Because I need you to do this. I need you to stay 2 hours overtime. I got you. Her name was Jaime. I got you, Jaime. No problem. I would do anything for that guy because that guy showed leadership qualities and he knew how to treat people. He knew how to respect people. And when people feel respected, you know what they'll do? They'll go above and beyond for you.
Yeah.
And they'll make you happy. And then a couple of times he'll say, you want to go home? Yeah. Okay, go home, fill out the paperwork. You get your 8 hours. Like that was a leader for me.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't have to be aggressive. He didn't have to yell. Now, on the streets, when you grew up, was there guys that were possibly older, but maybe like, you know what? I don't really care for that guy. That guy right here is a good dude. This dude, you know, kicks good clecha. This guy over here, I don't know. Was there people like that you could look up to as far as leadership is concerned?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. There was leaders, and the leaders are always the ones. And to me, to this day, that still stands. Where a leader is a person that leads with action. You know, like a form of migration. You're looking at the guy that's in the front. That, you know, he's gonna be the first in line for everything, for battle, the first to go hunt the prey, the first to feed the rest of the tribe. And you gotta be that person if you're gonna call yourself a leader, not
Right.
behind, you know, whatever, just jaw japping, you know.
And I'm glad you said that because if you are a leader, you don't have to go around saying that you are a leader.
Fact. Yep.
People will willfully follow a person that is willing to say, don't do as I say, do as I do. Because if I tell somebody, let's go here, I'm not going to say, I'll meet you guys there at 3. No, I'm going to be there first.
Energy don't lie.
That's what it is. Hey, bro, we got to go talk to these people. I'm going to go first.
Yeah.
You know, or hey, let's go do this. I'll meet you guys over there. I'll already be over there. Okay. I don't trust people that show you with their actions, you know, do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
Wrong type of leaders.
Right.
You know. Now let's talk about leadership in the home. Since man's masculinity has been thrown away, I saw an interview, or should I say, been taken away from them. I saw a woman say this, that there are certain males that have created a certain type of woman that a real man does not like. Let me explain. She said, when a man doesn't take his role as to be a leader and to lead and guide his wife and his kids, and he falls, if you will, he fails to reach that standard, he goes, naturally a woman would want to. Because the man is not leading.
Right.
He says, so now, from the outside looking in, other men look at the lady and say, well, look, she calls shots.
Yeah.
You know, she tells this guy what to do. Who created that? That man that failed to do his part. To not only provide, but to protect, but to lead. To lead his family.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are most important, I believe, right now. Because your child who sees you as a leader, one day, I want to be like my dad.
Right.
He's a leader. You know, he's a winner. He protects us. He feeds us. He loves us. He tucks me in. He prays for me. And you know what you're doing? Just passing it down.
Yeah. You know what? One of the sayings I can't stand these days is happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
I think that is one of the most how do you say it, destructive comments or a statement to make. Um, yeah, your wife should be happy, but she's there to learn from you. You know, so if there's any form of correction, that's love right there. If I don't love you, I'm not gonna correct you. The same as scripture. You know, the way to prove yourself to the Most High is to show, you know, your ability to keep the commandments, which is love. That's
Right.
love, not a hug. And correction. And I'm not, this ain't just towards women, towards men too. People hate to be corrected. They don't want to be corrected or be told, "Hey, don't wear that. Why you just because you're going to the gym now, you think you're gonna wear a tank top every day?" Like,
Right.
you know, they have to learn in relationships how to communicate with each other, you know, and respect each other, you know, and know that there's boundaries to things.
Right.
Maybe a woman could be wearing something that she likes, and maybe she's happy about her body losing weight, but she doesn't know the controversy she's gonna cause by wearing that low cut blouse, her cleavage is showing. That's gonna cause somebody to disrespect her, which is gonna cause me to jump and possibly face time. Like,
Right. Now, shouldn't the leader of the home, the husband, have some type of authority to say, "You're not going to wear that. I love you, babe, but you're not going to wear that."
I'm old school. Yeah, I do.
Okay. And today, now listen
Yeah.
up, everybody, because this word has been trending.
But I believe, my bad, bro.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I believe that it shouldn't even get to that point.
Exactly. Today, these women, how they defend themselves and try to make you look bad. They make up words. That's toxic masculinity.
You're gaslighting me.
Yeah.
You're a narcissist.
You're a narcissist. Yeah. Exactly. You're a hater. How was your husband your hater and he married you? You know, that is toxic. If you hear these words from some of these women, get away from them. Get away from them, because they're the problem. If you have the problem with everyone, you are the problem. The same problem with everyone, you are the problem.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. It's like there's alpha women. There's alpha women that, and I'm going to say this very carefully, that they know their role when they meet their husband or a man that they know that can lead them. They become, if you will, alpha submissive. Okay, where they will say, "Wow, this is my man. This is my champ. This is my king. He goes to work. He gets up early. You know what? Me levanto 5 o'clock in the morning, make his lunch. You know, all good. He comes home. I have his towel there. I have this. And you know what he does for me? He provides for me. He protects me. He loves me. He loves my kids. Everything, bro. You know, and you know, most of all, he helps me. He uplifts me, and he encourages me to pursue my dreams. Okay? And that's a beautiful thing. That's what women want. Women naturally want to be led, but by good men, good leaders. And that's what I feel is absent today. The good leaders. If a girl's going to be telling you what to do all the time, honestly, and you like that, maybe you need a prescription of man to fuck up.
For real.
You know, I'm just being honest, man, because look, those are the kind of men that if you hear somebody, you know, opening the window, most likely they're going to tell their wife, "Get up and check." Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, what about the movie? I'm thinking about where you're telling me that right now. Remember the movie Donnie Brasco?
yes.
Okay, when he goes to go meet old boy for the first time, he goes to his pad and they're cooking, and he goes, "Yeah, an Italian man can cook. We do the cooking. We do this and that, whatever." And he goes, "Oh," the wife goes, "Oh yeah, he's such a good cook." Like she's all on him, you know, like all scared of him too. What's his name? The actor from Scarface.
Johnny Depp.
No, not John. The other one, Al Pacino.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Al Pacino, right? So he's cooking, right? And the flame gets all crazy and shit. And he goes, "Take care of that, take care of that." The wife is right there trying to put it out and shit. Like, "Homie, you take care of that." And he's right there, like, just like, damn.
I
can't
remember
believe
that.
shit.
I don't know why I was thinking, what's the other one with Johnny Depp? Is another one he did. Another dope movie.
Blow?
Below.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about that one.
Okay,
'Cause I was like, Al Pacino was in it, but yeah, Al Pacino was in that. Damn movie.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, bro. But you know, where are our leaders at today? You know what? Let me ask you a question: Is our president a good leader?
No, I don't believe in none of them being leaders at all. All they're out there is just to talk and misinform you and put a fake narrative or whatever they're getting paid to say out there. That's it. They ain't no leaders. At Congress neither.
Look, whether we believed in his religious beliefs or not, I'm going to ask you a question. You believe Malcolm X was a leader?
Yeah,
I believe that too.
I believe he's a good leader.
Yeah. Again, whether you believe in, I'm not a Muslim, but I loved that he was passionate for his people.
Right.
You know, he loved his people, and we should love our people.
Yep.
But I will say this, that becoming a leader or something of that magnitude, it comes with a price.
A lot of responsibility too.
A lot of responsibility, man. So, you know what? We need good leaders. And I've always said this, you know what? I'm nobody special, but I am a voice. And we have a platform here to give other people a voice. So with that being said, Marvelous, anything you care to add to this? Because we talked about leadership in the streets, we talked about leadership at work and leadership at home. And I believe that it starts at home so that it can go into the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look, to me, a leader is not a guy that talks down or that beats up or mistreats his wife. Mm-hmm. That's not a fucking leader. And I don't care how much of a gangbanger you think you are, because I've known guys like that, you know, want their respect on the streets, but at home, they're beating up their so-called queen. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not cool with that.
Yeah, I believe in the same thing, bro. I mean, I believe that, you know, everything that you're saying, you know, to the youngsters that look up to, you know, being from a barrio,
yeah, or,
you know, getting into a club or whatever as a form of being a leader. That is the furthest from the truth. The leader comes first and foremost with you holding down your household.
Yes.
And providing for your familia or your bloodline, you know? And I don't think, I mean, you shut down the markets today and or anything, you know, we have no hunters. Ain't nobody knowing how to hunt out there. You know, maybe they might know how to fish, but you know, I'm sure they're not gonna know how to make a shelter for their you know, their mate or their family or whatever. And you know, we got to get back to the basics, bro, of how we used to you know, mold our children and educate them, etiquette, morals, everything all that.
And bro, that's what leaders do.
That's what leaders do.
Look, if you're a father, part of being a leader, in my opinion, I'm just giving you my opinion. Okay, we're not motivational speakers. But we are having a conversation. Part of being a leader is you have to educate yourself.
Correct.
So yeah, you have to, you know, I see education like a well where somebody draws water. Okay. Mm-hmm. That if you want to bless someone else, but you have nothing to draw from, what are you going to bless them with?
Fact.
So I'll leave it at that. We're going to jump into the questions. We have a lot.
Simon.
Once again, if we don't get to your question, please call in and ask us, you know, when we start taking calls. So, okay, this one says, been a rough week for me, fellas. It's during these times that you got to check yourself and make whatever adjustments to push through and be there for your wife and your kids, just what we were talking about.
Yep.
Got a question for everyone in the show, even Alex. What makes you guys smile and happy? Go ahead, Alex. You
go for it, Alex.
You got the mic? Okay. Okay. Let me say this, and then you're going to go next. Oh, you know what? I'll just buy you time, but because I do want to answer that. Since they asked you, Alex, you know, well, my thing is everybody's going to have a different answer, and I respect everybody's different answer. So go ahead, Alex. What makes you smile and happy?
What makes me smile and happy is when I accomplish anything I put my mind to and it actually gets done, or I actually make money off of it. You know, that makes me happy. Like something successful, something that makes people happy, something people want to watch, you know, whatever it is, my videos, working on cars, whatever, do it right, do it once.
You did a good job on my car, homie. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, you know, like, and it didn't fall apart on
I'm just saying that to be nice on camera right now.
I appreciate that.
No, I'm just playing, homie. Nah, you
but
really
you made
did.
him smile.
You did a good job, dog. For
Yeah,
real.
well, see, that's the type of, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of mechanics out there, they're shit.
Yeah.
And they just take your money and they don't do nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, question again, bro.
What makes you guys smile and happy?
When I hear my kids speak, the way they conduct themselves now, it makes me feel good inside. I don't know necessarily smile, but I feel real good the way they're carrying themselves. the way they respect each other. And it just it makes me feel good because the day that I'm not here, I could have peace of mind that I possibly did something right.
Yeah, yeah. For me, it's just so, and I'm sure I'm probably speaking for you as well. It's a mixture of things, especially with my grandkids. Not only seeing my kids succeed, but my grandkids. I took them to their first day of school.
Heck yeah.
Now I'm gonna pick them up every Wednesday from school. That's the only time my daughter can pick them up. For me to see, not to bless others, to me it's a big joy for me. And to bless others not only with, if I could, with material things, but also with encouraging words. I'll give you a perfect example. When you bless others, I'm going to tell you this, you'll receive that blessing right back. And that's what keeps joy in my heart, to be able to keep smiling even through rough times. I'll give you an example. Sunday, Concrete, he was hosting the show.
Yeah.
After he came back and we took a shot together, and we toasted to a long and prosperous life.
Yeah.
And I hugged him and I told him, you know what, bro? I don't know if anybody ever tells you this. People may tell you you're dope and you're funny, but I'm going to tell you that I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
And I told him that. And he just said, gracias, perro, gracias. And I said, no, I'm serious, bro. Gave him a hug. I like to see people win, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you bless and uplift and encourage others, it comes right back to you. So for me, that's my fuel, what brings joy to me. And that's why I can keep going on, even if I am going through something.
Yeah.
So if you're going through something, man, during that mist of that time, bless others, even if it's with an encouraging word. It will come back to you. So, all right, let's move on. Question for Tony. What are your thoughts on believers celebrating Halloween? That's a good one, okay? I will say this. Grew up in a Catholic home. I guess all Catholics celebrate Halloween. There was no big deal. But the only ones who didn't celebrate Halloween was like my Jehovah's Witness friends, okay? But then again, they didn't celebrate Christmas, they didn't celebrate Thanksgiving. They didn't even celebrate their birthdays, Now that I'm older, I am not going to neglect that for my kids. I'll be honest with you. Some people may say, well, but you shouldn't allow them. That's Satan. None of us go out there and say hallelujah to Satan. You know what kids see, especially kids that come from a different country? Here's how they view Halloween. You get a bag, and at night you get to go to people's doors and they give you candy for free. Free. Okay? But this is where you as a leader need to, if you will, decide whether if this is what you want to do. I don't have a problem with it, but then again, I don't consider myself a Christian. But I don't have a problem with it, bro. So, if you're passing out candies from your home, why don't you give out a candy with maybe an encouraging pamphlet, that may bless them if they go home and read it. You never know who it may touch.
Yeah.
Instead of just talking about it, turning off your lights and pretending you're asleep because it's the devil's day, why don't you be out there in the midst of darkness and be that light and bless others with things?
That's a good option.
So, okay, question for both of you. When your time in this world comes to an end, how would you like to be remembered?
First and foremost, as a good father.
Good answer. Good answer. I'm going to say something that I believe is going to encompass all of that. I do want to be remembered as a God-fearing man. If there's anybody that I fear in this world, it is God. I don't fear the Italian mafia. I don't fear any mafia. I don't fear any street gang, but I do fear God. I read a scripture that says this: don't fear the one that can destroy the body, but fear the one that can destroy the body and is able to cast you into hell. Him you fear. So not only do I fear God, but I also honor, reverence, and respect God. So I want to be remembered as a God-fearing man, as best as I could. Okay, question for you both. This is a good one. Tony, what do you think Wilmington will look like in 25 years? And Marvelous, East Los in 25 years, how much has it changed in the last 25 years? Okay, I'm 55 right now. Okay, so I would be 80 years old. I still think I'm going to be around.
I think you're going to be around too.
So 25 years, do you still see yourself around?
Oh, man. I don't know.
Just tell me yes.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. I say yes, not yeah. So, yes.
Okay.
Okay, how do you see East Los? Do you think it's gonna get more raza or more white?
Gentrification is here, bro, and it's not going anywhere. Yeah, it's never been as flooded with other ethnicities than it is now. It's sad how much things have changed, but I mean, there's a power struggle going on. You know, we got the new generation that is coming out and portraying themselves to be something, and we're just trying to educate them on all that everything that came along with dressing like that, you know, or conducting themselves like that. So just trying to instill a little bit more morals now. It's a little bit more out of control, I think, as far as us not having that generation to teach. Like for my me personally, we had the veteranos that, you know, that would have meetings. We would have meetings, and you had to be at that meeting.
Yeah.
You know, now I don't see none of that going on.
No, is there still say that I came? I'm oblivious to the street, but
Yeah.
I'm asking you this question:
Yeah.
is there still a street code?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's still street code, but not everybody is aligned with it. Not everybody respects it. The younger generation. I just had a talk with a handful of different homies from different barrios recently, and I asked them, do the younger generation, how do you see us? And they were on, and I told them, hey, be honest, homie. Like, don't, like, if you got something to say it, you know. And they're like, yeah, you know, like, none of the homies respect none of the older homeboys. They don't, until the point where it comes where they get busted or whatever. But as far as the street, they're doing whatever they want when they want and conducting themselves however. They don't care.
See, it's funny, man, how growing up, we looked up to the older homies.
Yeah.
Like, we did. Like, those are the guys right there that we always looked at them as that they're going to kick good clecha to us.
Yeah.
You know? So.
And back then, like, you know, we were talking about earlier, back then, it wasn't like, I'm going to fucking get on here and diss this vato right here or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
nah, if the dude says, you know what, I'm going to be over there right now, or you got something coming, homie, he's going to be at your fucking door, homie. You better get your strap. You better do whatever. It wasn't none of that.
No, you know, and I'm going to say this, and I say this shamefully because some of the guys that we did this to, me and my brother, are now friends with now.
Mm-hmm.
We put away, you know, all that childish shit. And but back then, if somebody said, hey, tell Tony or tell so-and-so, or we're looking for him.
Yeah.
Bro, we went up to your house, bro.
Yeah.
We knocked on your door.
Yeah.
Today, people are saying, oh, that's disrespectful. You should have never done that.
Yeah.
No, bro. If you claim that you live about that lifestyle,
Yeah.
expect somebody at your door, bro.
Yeah.
That's just the way it happens.
Yeah.
And some of the guys that we went to their house knocking, we're good friends with now, bro. But we win. So there was no mistake. You said it, we're going to go to your house. Come on, man. We want to talk to you outside.
Yeah. Like, there was an incident that just happened, bro, at the Del Amo Mall.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I don't really know what happened, but I saw the footage.
It's a bunch of young kids just going at it, socking up other kids, like downing them. Like, and it's messed up, you know?
Did
Like,
they ever give a reason? Like, what was the motive?
nah, just to do it.
Yeah. Okay. Question for both of you. What do you think of younger raza following the word of the Quran and converting? Now, as far as raza, I've heard of raza being Muslims since the early 90s. I had a friend that was from Compton, and he said he would run across a lot of raza that was coming from Mexico that were converting to becoming Mormons because they were giving them housings, or to the Quran, to becoming a Muslim, and they were actually called men of Sinaloa, and they were Muslims.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, I saw a couple of them,
Yeah.
but I never really spoke to them.
Uh-huh.
So, as far as is that still going on now? I don't know. Are you familiar with
I
that?
don't know, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. But when you get a chance, look, they're called men of Sinaloa. And I heard about them in the 90s, and those are Raza Muslims. Okay, question for both of you. Will you gentlemen continue having Bible studies? I didn't know we were having Bible studies.
Yeah, I haven't had a.
I mean,
well, you know, correction. Kind of. I mean, we'll go for it, bro.
I mean, because
My
we
bad.
did talk about the origins of the Bible. We
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
And I get what you mean, and no disrespect on that. They're always great to watch while at work. God bless. So you should be working, bro. But well, at least you're listening. But no, I appreciate you reaching out with that. But I guess if, you know, because it's damn if you do, damn if you don't, Marvelous. Because when you talk about the scriptures, you guys are trying to preach religion, and then we don't get enough. Preach on it.
Yeah. You can't satisfy everybody.
You will, as a podcaster, you will never satisfy anyone. Please remember that, guys. Okay. Okay, here we go. Question for Tony and Marvelous. Do you guys think settling, finding the right woman happens when you least expect it, when it comes to being with someone you really want to be with?
Yeah, I think for the most part, it comes when you least expect it, when you're not looking. And I think that's what people need to do, though. People are too busy, like, I want this, I want this person that does this, I want, and then after that, I want some more. Instead of asking, this is what I need. I need this, I need that. Because everything that they want, it didn't work for them in the past. They keep searching for that person that's treating them like shit, cheating on them, taking their money, not spending time with them, not everything.
Yeah, just having someone doesn't necessarily mean that that's the one.
Yeah.
You just have someone, and yeah. Okay. Do I think it comes when you least expect it? Personally, in my opinion, I don't think you should be looking. I think when the right time comes, you will meet that one.
Yeah.
Okay. I do believe that. Okay. Much love and respect to both of you. First question is, what was your favorite taco shop in El Cajon when you was out here? Second question is more of a request. I think you guys should give Mortal Technique on the podcast. I believe Mortal Technique and Marvelous will have a very interesting and intelligent conversation. Sincerely, your camarada, small from El Cajon. I don't remember being out there when I got where the tacos.
Well, I used to live out there.
Okay.
But the best, man, I don't remember the name of it, but I don't think you remember the name of that, man, in Rancho San Diego. Bomb. The best fucking flautas ever. Yeah.
So,
and they weren't stingy too. The raza was like, you want more? Get us more, like más. And I'm like, yeah, like,
Right.
But yeah, they were cool. Not like today, everybody seems like you go over there and you ask for extra salsa or extra whatever, and they act like it's coming out of the refrigerator, homie. Like, dang, food, like,
right.
you could throw another one in there.
Yeah, can I get another hot sauce?
One napkin, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
I go, just give me one little pack, please.
Yeah.
Did you pay for them?
For real.
Okay. This is an interesting conversation, and I don't like to touch on street politics, but I think it's kind of a little twist to this question.
Yeah.
It says, for Tony and Marvelous, do you guys believe that gang members who have committed murders on the street are possessed or maybe even psychopaths? Okay. Or are they just young and dumb and not thinking straight? Thanks, and keep up the good work. There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons why people are. Do I believe that there are some people out there that can possibly demonically possessed? Yeah. I think there's people that are demonically possessed at your workplace, at the nightclub, that don't have to be gang members.
Yeah.
I believe that there are psychopaths. I mean, Richard Ramirez, Ted Bundy, all these guys were not gang members, but they were psychopaths. I believe some of them could have been demonically possessed. Is there people out here, like, we've said this before here on this podcast when I've had other guests, that there are gang members and then there's killers.
Yeah.
Okay. I try to stay away from the killers, because I see that they did more of that than they did gangbanging. So I don't know. What's your take on this? Possessed or psychopaths? It's kind of hard to even.
Yeah, but I answer it like this. I believe that anybody can be pushed to that limit.
Yeah.
If you disrespect something, it could be a nerd. Look at the nerdiest looking dudes are the ones that commit the most heinous crime. As far as killers changing their life or whatever, of course they can. Of course, a person that has done stuff like that, whether he was young and ignorant or doing stuff to just earn his name, he could be brought back and become part of society, if you say it. But as far as being a psychopath, nah, there's a handful of vatos that are really like lost their damn mind, and it's because they just gave up. They gave up on life, and they're just like, F everybody. They already think of me like this, and I'm gonna show them how ruthless I can be.
Yeah, and again, I don't think that it has to be a gang member, but there are people out there that have blown their minds away, whether they're smoking crack, crystal, or whatever, and they can go on a rampage.
Yeah.
And somebody says, oh, because he lived in his neighborhood, he was from that hood. It doesn't necessarily mean that, because that person's just not there anymore.
Yeah.
Is that a possibility? Yeah, that's probably a possibility. But I don't know for sure. I'm just trying to elaborate off of this question. Next question, Tony, would you have the Mexican OT on the Roadium radio? Yes, I would. Marvelous, is there any modern day rappers or singers that you can listen to?
Modern day rappers. There's a handful, man, but then I'm picky and choosy about a lot of stuff as far as rapping goes. As far as our raza goes, I mean, there's a few that I don't know, man. I can't speak on anybody. I mean, the one that I've grown up with, of course, is Conejo. I always say that I like his shit because being from the street, he was really out there, everything that he talks about. So I respect that in him, how he's changes that, like the way he thinks and all that. But
that's dope. Question for Tony: the mysterious guest who had a shadow over them. Could you say at least the first letter of their name starts with O
don't
or
do it.
A S?
Don't do it.
Come on, you have proven you will keep secrets to the grave, but give us a Roadium Warriors this one, at least one hint. Okay, ready? There. Anyways, let's go to the next question. I'm not taking that one to the grave. Okay. Question for you both. Should women have the right to vote? Yes, I believe that. Should women have the right to vote?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Question for both of you. Do you think all the Cali fools moving to Texas? What do you think about the Cali fools moving to Texas? Do you plan on moving to another state in the future? No. No.
I want to move out of here, to be honest with you.
Okay. I do want to say something. If I had the money to do it, yes, I would, but I don't have the money. But say that like I hit like 65 and I had the money to move.
Nah.
As weird as it may sound, I would move to Israel.
Oh, okay.
That's where I would move. You'll find me there working at a bookstore. But other than that, I'm going to be right here. So, okay, well, would you give us where you would move?
Where I would move?
Yeah.
I'd be...
Moving around probably?
Yeah, moving around. Of course, I always said I wanted to visit like, the forest, the Amazon, stuff like that, I like animals and stuff, so I want to see all that shit.
That's dope. Okay, this, and then we're going to go ahead and see. Then we're going to go take calls. Question for both Marvelous and Tony. If you could have a conversation with someone, who would it be? That's a great question.
That is a good question.
You want to go first?
Definitely Homeboy that they had mentioned that they like for me and him to sit down.
Immortal Technique?
Immortal Technique.
But this is anybody in the world.
Anybody in the world?
Let me go ahead and open it up.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Okay, let's make it somebody living. So yours will be Immortal Technique. And let's just say maybe somebody that's deceased. It could be anybody in history.
Meshi, where we get our name from. Mexica.
Okay. Mine, if they're still alive, that's a tough one for me because I've said this, that if I could have dinner with my favorite actor, I would, which would be Clint Eastwood.
Oh, right.
The next guy would be Sylvester Stallone. But if I could...
Sylvester Stallone. Imagine that conversation.
Hey, yo.
That would be funny, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, Tony, how you doing? Get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
That was a bad impression. I know. Don't clown me.
Hey, it's all good.
I'm going to get clowned for that one.
Okay, make up with Ahmed.
Yeah.
But, okay, now, somebody living, I don't, right now, I don't know. I probably would like to talk to the guy that in Israel right now, that the Jewish people are actually calling the Messiah.
Cha.
Okay?
That's crazy.
I would really want to talk to him and ask him, how do you feel that, or do you accept them calling you the Messiah and why?
Yeah.
Because you got to understand that the Jewish people, when I say the Jewish people in Israel, or Israel, are still waiting for their first coming of their Messiah.
Yeah.
Okay. So they believe that that's him. So that's my question. But my number one deceased person that I would want to sit down with, believe it or not, would be Adam from the book of Genesis in the garden. Because he lived in a perfect world and then lived in a fallen world. And they said that he was in the Garden of Eden And in the east of Eden, there was a garden. And in the midst of that garden was where God would come down and walk and talk with them in the cool of the day. I want to know what that was like.
Okay.
So there it is. Okay. Another question. Okay, last one. I think this is it. Okay. Another question. What's your guys' thoughts on Martin Luther King? Do you guys think he truly paved the way for people of color by ending segregation from what the school system taught and input thoughts? I don't think he ended it. Anything. I think he was a voice that was for the people. But, you know, the only thing that I ever struggled with Martin Luther King, and I don't say this to put anyone down, but he called him a reverend. And a reverend, he said he was a Baptist, minister, or at least a Baptist.
Right.
I don't know anybody that's ever heard none of his sermons.
Yeah. How do you feel about if you even want to comment on it, Farrakhan?
I don't know. I really don't know on that one. The jury's still out on that one.
Yeah.
I would like to talk to him and ask him certain questions, but he was quoted one time saying that Malcolm X got what he deserved because of what he said about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I saw an interview, and it's on YouTube, where Malcolm X's daughter sat next to him and pretty much let him have it. Like, I don't want to sit next to you.
Right.
That type of deal.
Right.
And they kind of talked it out, but everybody believed that not only did he mean what he said about her father, but that he knew what happened about her father.
I got a good question for you, and then maybe the audience could chime in too. What do you think about when somebody passes away? I seen a video. I seen it a couple of years ago, but recently it popped up again, and it's this girl. She's a daughter of, I think, another woman, and she's right there. She's letting the audience have it, like not the whole audience, but a couple of people that owed her mom money and stuff like that. And I don't know why you're here. You know, you didn't even get along with you. You were talking shit about my mom, and you were this and that, and you owe my mom money and shit like that. Do you think? I know there's a time and a place for everything, but I mean, like, I don't know if it's bitterness or what. Like, I know when I pass away, I've said, like, man, I don't want certain people there. Like, they did nothing but be foul. Like, you know,
Yeah.
why would I even at my death? Like, maybe it's something that I shouldn't hang on to, but like, what if the person that passed away wanted that? You know, is that even should that be done?
Okay, let me say this, and I'm going to say this respectfully, and I'm going to choose my words correct. And if I'm out of place, Marvelous, then I need you to check me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Throw this fist at you.
Yes. Me and I'm only speaking on him because of this question. Me and Night Owl, for a long time, were good friends. A lot of people don't know that we have known each other since 1994. Yes, he came to my house back then. We were supposed to work together. I give him. We had a conversation. I don't even want to call it an interview. Okay, and from that point on, we talked like 2 or 3 times every single day. Like, we literally talked 2 or 3 times every day. Whether he went to the restaurant, he would call me, hey, I'm at this place in San Diego, you need to come check it out. I would call him, hey, I just finished eating sushi. That's how close we were.
Right.
When things happen, and I don't care to get into it, and things went south, and he didn't like me no more, and he could talk, I was disappointed because of how quickly things just went south with, and what happened was he ended up passing away. Rest in peace. I knew he didn't like me when he passed away. So I'm not going to go to his funeral.
Yeah.
And then possibly receive something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Especially from people that may not have known that at one point we were actually very good friends.
Right. Right.
So what I did, I sent my condolences with a friend who did attend to his mother and his father. Okay. And that's what I would do. If I didn't like you, Marvelous, and all I did was talk mad shit about you, and then you passed away, I'm not going to go show my fucking face, bro. Because you know what's going to happen? Something's going to happen to me if I show up, bro. I might as well, that if I really felt bad, I might as well, when you're already buried, I go and make my peace, if you can hear me.
Yeah.
I would rather do that because I'm not going to go and disrespect your family knowing of all the things that I was saying about you. Maybe in my own time, if I saw your family, then maybe I'll find it in my heart to ask them for forgiveness.
Right.
You know, that's what I would do. So now, as far as people showing up, and this woman said, "You said this to my mother," maybe because I don't know the full details. Maybe they had no business going there.
Yeah.
I know you want to pay your respects,
Right.
but we don't know how things were when you guys were alive.
Yeah.
You know, well, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Man, that's a hard thing. That's a hard thing to speak on, man. I don't know. I know how I felt about things, and it's just like, you know, I think I'm still stubborn in a lot of areas, and
Yeah.
those are part of my faults. But you know, I'm still growing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and connect.
Simone.
Alex, do me a favor. Can you go ahead and read before you put up the number? Can you go ahead and read us that? It's been up for a while now. Would you rather be feared or loved?
Okay, the question, we had 340 votes. The question is, I'd rather be, and 32% said feared, and 68% said loved.
Okay. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and put up that number, and let's see who our caller is. Okay. Okay, you guys go ahead. Make the calls. We got enough time to get to your question. If we didn't get to your question that was on the community, please, call in and ask us whatever. Even if you just want to call in and say, "Hey, I'm enjoying the show, and I'm thankful that you guys took my phone call." Go ahead and call in right now. Okay, here we go. All right. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Tony? My name is Izzy. I'm calling from Canada.
What's up, my brother from Canada? How you doing tonight, man?
Not bad, man. Just chilling. Enjoying the show, man. I just wanted to talk about, we guys talking about attending funerals and stuff?
I'm sorry, what was that?
You guys are talking about, attending people's funerals that, let's say you had a problem with?
Yes.
So, I had one friend, a childhood friend that recently passed away, and, me and him had a great big fallout. So, it was, well known, right? But probably a couple months before he passed away, I saw his brother, and I just asked his brother, I'm like, "Hey, how's your brother doing?" And he's like, "Oh, he's doing good, this and that." And I told him, "Hey," I kind of at that moment, I kind of let that hate towards him kind of die. I was like, "Hey, wish your brother well for me." And he's like, "Got it, man. I'll tell him when I see him." He passed away, and I felt some type of way. I was like, "Man, I wish I could have patched things up with him." Because a couple of days before he passed away, I was kind of reminiscing over some great memories we had. And then he passed away. So I didn't attend his funeral, but there was a memorial service for him. I attended to it. It was a closed casket. I just put my hand on the casket, had a little prayer, and everybody was there's a function after that. I didn't even bother going. I just made my peace and just left. What do you guys think about something like that? Do you guys think I was in the right for doing something like that, or was it wrong for me to attend?
I don't know, Marvelous. Me personally, I don't think it was wrong for you to attend. I think you went with pure intentions, to make your peace. And it's sad that it's unfortunate that things like that happen, and then we want to make our peace, but it happened. So I think if your heart was in the right place, then you did the right thing.
I agree with Tony. If your heart is in the right place, I think that it's good. And like we talked about a couple of episodes ago, I think about inheriting other people's problems, and I think that's what other people got to deal with is, if somebody has a beef, leave it with them. Why are you even butting in? And especially with social media, everybody's in the comment section leaving their 2 cents, and that's cool, But to them, I mean, they're still trying to prove to themselves that they're a man. That's why they're doing that shit. But to you, I think you did the right thing, homie,
All good, man.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
One last quick thing. So, it was crazy because probably 2 weeks ago, I had a dream with this guy, and it was I don't want to be that. I'll probably call him Freaky Tales because it's kind of more towards that. So basically, in the dream, me and him started talking, and then we just ended up going into a parking lot. And it was all foggy, and I was just like, "Hey, man, I just want to apologize." And then he was just like, hey man, no, it's okay, man. Whatever we fought for was over some dumb stuff. We even spoke about it. We laughed about it, and then he just like, I was like, hey man, hope to see you again someday, man. And then he's like, yeah, hopefully not soon. But like I said, I'll call him Freaky Tales because this story, like I'll get more in depth and Freaky Tales about it. But I felt like that dream kind of like pieced it all together, something like the piece of his passing,
Okay. All good, my brother. I appreciate you calling in, bro. Thank you for calling all the way from Canada, bro. Okay.
Great.
Let's go. We missed a couple of phone calls, but that's good. I'm glad that he at least called in and all the way from Canada.
I know. Yep.
That's awesome. Okay, the phone lines are open. So once again, if you guys want to call in and touch on something that we might have spoke on, or even if not, you just want to ask a question, go ahead and call in. So the phone lines are open. Let's see. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, Tony. What's up, Marvelous? This is Brad Pitbull calling from Trump Westside Connect Gang.
That's right. What's
everywhere,
up? What's up, homie?
Anywhere.
Oh, good.
I just want to say good evening to you guys. And hey, there's one other thing that I heard on Tucker Carlson that he sent a text message to someone in his family about trying to interview Putin, and that the NSA got a contact with him. So that basically, the point I just bring this up is that, well, your text messages are being read, so just telling everyone out there, just don't put nothing, on text or over a phone, or social media, because the future seems dark,
So that means don't ever ask for a girl for a pic.
Don't ever send a pic, huh?
No, yeah, no, that too, all that, and then the IA update. You know that IA fools think that sun chips are too spicy. But that's it for now. Before all the complaints start coming in. All right,
All right, bro. Thank you.
Have a good one, homie.
Okay, go ahead and call in. We missed about 3 phone calls, so right now the phone lines are open. I know a lot of you guys say I always want to call in when Marvelin's there. I'm going to call him and ask him something. So here we go. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Tony? I've never got to talk to Marvelous before. I wanted to call in. It's Spencer Baca from Sacramento.
That's right, Eddie. How you doing there, buddy?
That's Eddie, huh?
Good. How are you?
I knew it.
No.
Good. How are you?
Oh, it's not Eddie?
No, Spencer Baca
Oh,
from
I
Sacramento.
thought it was Eddie cousin all the time. My bad. I thought it was my bad. I thought it was Eddie. You sound just like
my name's Spencer Baca, and I'm from LA originally. I'm from Bellflower originally, but I'm a NorCal fool currently.
Sounds just like him, huh?
what the heck?
You sound just like some guy named Eddie from Pasadena. That's what he thought.
That's not Eddie?
That's not Eddie, bro.
Oh, dang. How you doing?
So before I get to my questions, I wanted to say, what's up, Marvelous? How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Thank you. I hope you're doing well yourself.
Okay, thank you. So wanted to say I had one question for Marvelous. It's the longer one, and then I have to ask Tony a few very quick things. But
Make it quick.
first, I wanted to ask you, Marvelous, and since you're a tattoo artist, what's your opinion on that? Back in 2012, there was a man that lived in Reno, Nevada, that called himself the Stalking Cat, and then he tattooed his whole body and face and changed his teeth and turned himself into a cat. He made himself look like a tabby cat, and then he ended up committing suicide in his own garage. What's your opinion on that one?
Wow. Did he say why he committed? Or did he say why?
No, he's asking you, did you know?
Was there like I you know what? I know of a couple of people that have done that. I don't know if it's the one he's saying, but all that body modification, I'm not with all that. Like I don't believe in all that. That's you're on a whole another mental plane with that one. All
I know is I didn't know him personally, but it was a story I saw online. I guess he committed suicide, and then his mom went over to his house and found that he had hung himself in his garage.
Man, that sucks. Yeah, I don't know that the personal story with that guy. But as far as being a tattooist or tattoo artist or whatever, a lot of like old school. I've been tattooing for quite a while, but I don't consider myself an old school tattoo artist. That was before my time, like my uncle or some of his homies. But me, your tattoos gotta mean something. They gotta mean something. When it comes to the streets, they gotta be spoken for, point blank. What else? The body modification. I just think that they're dealing with a lot of mental issues. There's a trigger. Maybe something happened to them, and they just they've given up on their future. But with that guy's circumstances, I couldn't speak on his personal circumstances because I don't know him. But it's sorry that it's sad that somebody has to go to that extreme where they take their life.
All good, big
Yeah,
dog.
it's awful. But before I ask Tony my few very quick things, I wanted to say to you, Marvelous. Personally, I have never gotten a tattoo, but sometimes I think about putting a Raiders tattoo on my shoulder because that's my favorite NFL team.
Don't do it.
Okay. Tony.
Don't do it.
So Tony, you there?
No. Yes, I am.
Okay. I know you're kidding. Hey, Tony, I wanted to ask you these 3 things very, very quick. It should only be another minute or so. How bad does it piss you off when artists or people are booked and then cancel the night of the interview? I'm only asking because that bodybuilder that was booked last night canceled.
Well, and it just wasn't him. It was other people in the past that have done that. And keep in mind, Marvelous, these are people that have approached me and said, I need to be on Roadium Radio. I need to be on, let's do it. And have asked me. And I booked them like a month ahead of time. And then the day of, they cancel. So I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, that just seems weird to me. And I know this dude, Zaid Ruslin, I think his name was, isn't the only one. Because I personally remember, I know Slim 400 was booked and canceled the night of the interview. And then I think DJ Speed did the same thing. It's happened a few times.
Yep. All good. So what's your other question, bro?
So the last 2 very, very quick things. How many more years do you think you'll podcast for?
I'm glad you said that because I think September 11th will be 4 years. I'm giving myself 1 more year, and then most likely it's probably a wrap. Okay, so
so you'll probably go to episode 400 of Roadium Radio, then be done.
Yeah, it'll be done. Hopefully by the next September 11th, it'll be 5 years. As of right now, that's kind of where I'm aiming, and I'm actually surprised you asked that because I was actually going to announce that at the end of the show. So I'm glad you asked me. So I'll probably give it 1 more year. So go ahead.
Okay. Do you think I'm gonna make this my last question? Then I'm gonna forget about the other thing I was gonna ask. So about that, do you think you'll go to episode 400?
Yeah, I think we will.
Okay, and then the last thing, what do you think you'll do after you quit the podcasting game?
I'm just gonna end it with this, bro. I'm gonna disappear. So.
And then probably go to work again or something.
Probably. All right, Spencer. Thank you, my bro. I appreciate you, homie.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. Let's see.
Damn, that sounded like Eddie.
Bro, I always think that, bro. When he calls, I always
he's
think.
Called before?
Yes, he's plenty of times. Not too long ago, he called on News of Norby's and he was down the street eating Chinese food. I don't know. He goes, I'm calling for Louis Chinese food. That's like 2 blocks away from me.
It sounds like they're throwing their words with a boomerang. Like,
oh, damn.
I don't know.
Yeah. Boomerang.
Yeah, like.
Caller, your name or where are you calling from?
Hey, Tony. My name is Rick from Whittier.
What's going on, Rick from Whittier?
Hey, what's up, Tony? I just kind of wanted to follow up with you about the round versus flat and where you at currently with that.
Oh, round versus flat, the flat earth?
Yeah.
I'm still round.
Is that right?
Yes. Now, you want to know why I'm still round?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
See, that should have been your next question. It's because, and I shared this with Marvelous on several occasions, it's because I haven't studied the flat earth. So I'm not going to debunk that the earth is flat if I've never looked into it. So that's why I'm still
So
because.
you're not in.
So what? Oh, this guy hung up.
I had a question for him.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Okay, let's see. All right, I don't know what happened, but okay, call back, caller. Right now, there's time. Call back. Oh no, somebody else. Caller, your name or where are you calling from? Caller, your name or where are you calling from?
Yeah. What's up, Tony? What's up, Marty?
How you doing, bro?
I'm calling from East Texas.
What's that?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, my name's Cheyenne. I'm calling from East Texas.
Houston, Texas. What's good, my bro? You sound muffled.
No, yeah, my bad, bro. I'm at work, so I'm sorry about the background noise. I just had a quick question.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a question for Marvelous. For Marvelous, you always speak about how you come from the tribe of Issachar, right? Us Mexicans, right? And I don't know if you've seen a video not too long ago how they discovered drawings or paintings of the Israelites. The Mexican president even confirmed it. And I just want to see like what you think. Did you hear about it, or I just want to know what you think?
I don't know if specifically about the what you're talking about, but there has been a gang of artifacts found, the carvings on stone that have been found everywhere. Talking about some of the scriptures and commandments that were written on stone, but they're always the Smithsonian. Once you say something like that, oh, I found an artifact, or I found this could possibly be something. Here comes the Smithsonian museum coming to collect those artifacts to do testing on them, and you never see them again. Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I was just thinking about because it's crazy. Everything they talk about adds up. You gotta study. You gotta go. You gotta learn some knowledge. That's what our people's lacking knowledge.
Yeah.
And I appreciate both of y'all what y'all doing, man. Like that's really helping our gente out, and shout out to both of y'all for real.
I'm trying, bro. Thank you so much, homie. But if people want to know like how it comes to be or whatever, the Isaac had a son, Jacob. Jacob had Issachar. Issachar had a son named Tolani, and Tolani, that's where we get yeah, okay, yeah. But thank you, homie. I appreciate you.
All right. Yeah, well, I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a good night.
All right.
You too, my bro. Okay, come on, let's keep it pushing. Let's go. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Tony? It's Rick again, from Whittier.
Oh, what's going on? Oh, yeah. So it's because I haven't looked into it, bro. So that's really my only answer.
Okay. It's not really something that affects your day-to-day life. Like you ain't really interested.
No,
knowing either or.
No, I mean I don't think it affects Marvelous' life. Right now I believe in the round earth. But I think Marvelous had a question for you.
Oh, no, I wanted to ask you what did you believe in, bro? What do you think about it?
Oh, I'm with the flat. With the flat. I think I don't know if you guys remember a few months back I had mentioned the stars.
Yeah.
And how the same stars are aligned with the pyramid.
Right.
And the pyramids were built how many thousands of years ago?
Right.
So the same stars in the sky are from way back then, and
they never move.
Whatever. They never moved.
Yeah. Except for the wandering, the one people can argue. Oh, well, what about the wandering stars? What about the 9 planets?
What about falling stars? What is that we're seeing according to you guys?
So like comments, like the comet,
yeah,
and all that. So actually, there's been pieces of the firmament. They look like ice, bro. That they found, and they consider that part of a meteorite, but it's actually not. It's like petrified. Whatever the firmament's made out of, I can't tell it because I haven't been up there to touch it. But that's supposedly what it is. The only thing that I cannot account for are comets. You know how they say, oh, Hale-Bopp, remember that comet Hale-Bopp?
Yeah.
And they're able to predict a precise, time period when it comes every 30 years, I think, or 60. Yeah. That's the only thing I can't account for. But there is Project Bluebeam. So I know about the holograms that they do put out there since the 70s.
Okay. Good, caller. Appreciate you calling in, my bro. Was that it? Anything else?
I just wanted to ask about if you guys heard about Ethiopia having 13 months.
Yeah.
And they're on a different time. They're on a different calendar. If
Yeah.
you heard about that.
It's called the Julian the Julian time. We're on a Gregorian time.
Yeah.
Theirs is a Julian. 13 months of 28 days. That's actually the real time.
Right. And so they're lying to us about everything. They lie to us about everything.
Almost everything, bro. Almost everything.
Well, that's why we encourage everyone here not to believe us, but to do your own research.
Yeah, do your own research.
That's why and I'm sticking up for you as on this one, because I can't stand when people say, how can you have that kook on your show? Bro, he has his number in his bio. I don't know anybody else that has their number in their bio. Number 2, you can call in. Okay. Number 3, you can ask him whatever you want, and we always encourage you to do your own research.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
hey, I appreciate you though, homeboy.
Yeah, I appreciate your guys' podcast. It's a realist podcast, Tony. I hope you stick around a lot longer than a year, man.
Thank you, my brother.
You guys.
He will.
Okay. Okay, let's go. I saw a call. I'm going to call him out. West Coast Graffiti called in. Okay.
Hey.
Caller, your name and where you calling from? Caller. Give him time. He's calling from Florida. Caller, your name and where you calling from?
Hello?
Yes. We heard a hello, but he said goodbye.
Maybe it was an island boy.
Caller, your name and where you calling from?
Hey, what's good, Tony A. Marvelous? This is the real Eddie from Pasadena.
Eddie, who was that guy? Is he related to you, homie? You guys sound the same.
I don't know who that fool is.
Oh, hell no.
Man, how dare you put me on blast? Nah, I'm just fucking with you.
Okay, because someone on the live chat dropped $1 something, said Tony proved that that's not Eddie from Pasadena.
I thought it was you, man.
He thought it was you.
I thought it was you.
It's all good.
But go for it, bro. What's up, man?
Alex.
Probably a guy. But on the serious note, I had a couple questions I wanted to ask.
Okay, just narrow it down to like 2 of them.
All right, I'll just nail 2. But one that I wanted to ask is psychology. Like, what do you think? What's your guys' thoughts on, from a psychological perspective, on individuals that don't have a good relationship with their family? Like, where a kid doesn't have a real bond with their parents because their parents are so busy from work, and when the kid wants to like engage in a conversation with their kid, the parent neglects them by saying, go away, I'm trying to watch TV, or I'm trying to take a nap, or, oh, I'm trying to drink. I just want to like drink my beer or talk with my friend that I grew up from. Like neglection, like a kid gets neglected from their parent, and they don't have a bond.
Yeah, go for it, bro.
I can say this about one thing that I did study is a lot of serial killers. And I can't say this about every single one of them, but I will say a lot of them did not have their parents present in their life. But one of them, according to everything that I've seen, Jeffrey Dahmer did have his parents, So that's why I can't say that about everyone. But it's tough, man. And let me tell you, let me give you a better example, okay? Marvelous, coming from a family of 10 kids, I can't ever tell you that my mother spent quality time with me by herself. I can't tell you my father actually spent quality time with me by himself, or my mother and my father together by myself. Was I neglected, or did they just have a big family? Now, growing up with a big family, you do kind of grow up alone because you don't want to hang around with your brothers, you don't want to hang around with your sisters, you don't spend quality time. So many times, even amongst a big family, you can still find yourself very lonely.
Yeah. Even in a relationship with somebody.
Yeah.
If you can't talk to them and communicate, you feel alone.
Well, why do you ask?
One thing well, the reason I ask is because I seen this YouTuber. There's one YouTuber who he talks about street the reality of like street videos. His name is if you guys don't mind me
go for it.
Putting out his YouTube with all due respect, MOD Entertainment. He made a video about speaking about psychology, about why individuals become gang members, and it all starts from the child does not have a good relationship with his parents in the household, even though the parent is the role model in the household, because that's the only person that we look up to in the house, nobody else. And parents, when they come home from work tired, they don't engage in bond or communication with their kid. So their kid goes looking at elsewhere in the street, and the child becomes a gang member. I don't know if that's true or not, but this is what he explains in one of his videos.
Well, yeah, I mean, a younger child, myself, when I was younger, my dad was in prison, my mom was in and out of prison. They were both on dope. I had my grandfather whenever he could. He was a busy man. He was a general contractor, so he was always working on houses. He would literally bundle me up in a blanket, and I would wake up at the job site with him, and I would have to get out the car and go learn whatever I could with him, on the roof, whether it was about learning a measuring tape, learning how to hammer. I had to learn it, and I better learn it. So that was my bonding with him. But, as a young kid, I think, it's not only myself. There's a lot of young kids that are looking for a father figure. They don't know it in that sense yet that they're looking for a father figure, but just a role model and somebody to learn how to be like or whatever. And sometimes we have the people that are there that have all the time in the world. They're not doing nothing but drinking, and we think that's the way what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to sell dope to make money. That's the only way we're supposed to make money, or rob people, and you just need to get these kids and give them something to do. A lot of these kids, if you ask them, well, what do you do all day? Well, my mom's busy working, my dad is probably busted or whatever, and they don't have nothing to do. They have nothing but idle time. So if you could, go ahead, bro.
One thing I want to add, what you just said, is like when your friends ask you, how is your relationship with your parents? I want to add to this, like when my friends ask me that, or acquaintances ask me that, as a kid, I didn't give them like a full-on answer, because I remember as a kid, like I always seen like classmates, they have a good relationship with their parents are taking them out to places, and I always thought to myself deep down inside my head, like, I wish I had that kind of bond with my parents. But my parents are always hardworking, not saying that they were bad or anything, but they had their own problems they couldn't cope with.
Yeah.
And I still struggle. I still can't cope with my emotions, like bottled inside. So I just try to have an understanding of it.
You know what? But I'm glad that you are trying to have an understanding of it, because let me ask you that. Are you a parent yet? Do you have any children?
No.
Okay.
I don't have any.
Okay, but I just want to say this, bro. I want you to take the time and use this moment to reflect back one day when you possibly do have kids, and now you know what not to do with them because it happened to you. When you see them alone, sitting in a chair, and maybe the TV's not on, maybe it's a great thing to maybe read to them, to interact with them, to talk to them, because whatever you bless them with, when I say bless them, whenever you speak to them, it's going inside of them, and they're consuming it. Now, you can give them the tablet and have Barney babysit them, or you can bless them with something good. Take them to the park. I take my grandbaby to the park all the time. After that, we go to McDonald's, we go play. I interact with them because I don't ever want them to have that idle time there, alone time out there. Many times, Marvelous, what they like to go and back right here. And I say no, because there's a lot of tweakers and a lot of bums that come right here, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm always out there with them, interacting with them. It's important, because just because I didn't spend quality time with my parents, you know what? It's the opportunity now to use that time and to bless my grandkids with, instead of saying, well, they didn't spend time with me, why should I spend time with them? That's the wrong leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the YouTuber that I referred to, he did say that this is why it's important to be a parent, engage in like conversations, even if it's just for an hour with your kids. Like, you don't have to get exactly into the hobby itself, but at least do it for your kid. Like, ask him questions, get to know what he's in. Just ask him like any questions, like how was school, is he all right?
How was your day?
About his
talk to me about your day.
Yeah, that too.
Hey, Eddie, but even if you're not a parent, for the people that don't even have kids or nothing, it's just important to be a good role model regardless, bro.
Absolutely. Thank you, Eddie. We have to let you go, my bro.
Appreciate you, homie.
We got a lot of people
All right.
waiting.
I respect that, and thanks for answering my one question, even though I wanted to, but I'll leave it at that for now.
Thank you, my bro.
It.
I appreciate you. Gracias. Okay, you know what? And sometimes because it starts going into 10 minutes, and we need to please be mindful of other callers. So please do not take that, you know. Anyways, you guys, we got about 15 more minutes, and then we out of here. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up, loco? This is Manuel from downtown.
What's up, Manuel? How you doing?
And I'm doing good, man. I have a religious question, if you don't mind.
That's fine.
How do you connect with God? How do you personally connect with the higher power?
Okay, Marvelous. You want? I'll go. With me, this is how it all started with me. Okay. In my early 20s, I realized that I was no good and there was nothing good in me. And what I mean by that, I was full of bitterness, I was full of misery, and I was full of unforgiveness. And I had to come to the realization that in order for me to have peace, God had to give it to me. And that was the only place that I could find it. So I got on my knees, as weird as that may sound, even though I never done that, and I just began to pray. And as I began to weep, the words just started coming out of my mouth that I was sorry. And I found myself repenting because I was before God. And from that point on, I didn't know how to pray. I didn't. I just started talking. And I just started telling him how I felt and what I was going through and why am I so miserable. And a lot of people think that you have to pray in the King James Version. You don't. You just open up your heart and begin to speak. Find yourself a quiet place where you can be by yourself and you can be you and it's only you and him. And just start talking. Even if you got to sit there for 20 minutes by yourself without saying a word because you cannot muster up the right words to come out of your heart. But speak from the heart. And let me tell you something, brother. You will get a visitation and things will change in you. That was my experience. And I just wanted to share that with you, that's how I find peace in the midst of tribulation. Marvelous, I don't know how you want to.
I think almost similar, opening that portal, bro, and being genuine about what you're asking for. Like if you're going to pray, I know before when I was younger, I used to be all embarrassed to pray. Or like, in front of people, I don't want to hold nobody's hand or nothing like that. Like, let them do all that. Or I remember going to Victory Outreach and they would be like, come to the altar, brother, come to the altar. And, come in and, cry up here and all this and that. And I was like, hell no, I'm not going to go up there and do all that stuff. It was dumb to me. But now, a certain circumstances that happened in my life, I'll be a man and say like I've been caught at my lowest, homie, and nowhere to run, nobody to turn to except something that was invisible, something that I've never seen like anything literally happen. And I found myself, praying to what people call God or the Most High. And when you're genuine about your prayer or what you're asking for, you will definitely, homeboy, receive an answer. You will, believe me. And the thing is not to try to compromise with the Most High and be like, oh, if you do this, I'll do this, or if you show your face, I'll do this, and I promise I'll go to church. Like, chale, none of that. Just be genuine about what you're asking for, and on His time, He will give you the answer. Every answer that you've ever asked, homie, will be right there. When you're genuine, that was it, I guess.
I don't know why he hung up. Hey, caller, thank you, bro.
I guess it was at the perfect time too. Huh?
Okay, caller, your name, where are you calling from? Hello, caller, you there?
Oh shit, my bad. I think I'm still locked in.
Okay, cool.
Yo.
Yes.
Yeah, so my bad. Am I still locked in here?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, so like when I pray, I try not to pray for things that I need or things that I want, or I don't always just pray for myself, right? Like sometimes I pray for I pray for the world, I pray for others, I pray for nature, I pray for the animals, for the smallest insect. So like, I guess the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I've been researching the Native American community, and for example, a lot of their ceremonies have to do with fasting.
Yeah.
And I remember the last time I fasted for like 3.5 days, right? And to be honest with you, I've never felt that type of connection with like the creator like then, when
Yep.
you're going 3-4 days without eating. So basically what I'm trying to say, I guess, is like, because there's a lot of people that don't believe in the Bible or they don't want to follow Christianity. So I just wanted to throw it out there that, if you want to get a connection with God, it doesn't always have to be through the Bible or through Christianity. Like, try to discipline yourself through like not eating for like a full day, 2 days. Try to stop drinking for a couple days. Like, those disciplines is like a connection to God, I feel. Does that make sense to you, Marvelous? Or
Yeah,
not?
yeah, most definitely, homie. You got to show yourself approved. Check it out. Take this as confirmation. Whenever you do pray for something or ask for something, there will be confirmation. So check this out. Your phone just hung up. Like, you hung up online, and you're on the air still.
You were still connected.
You're still connected, homie. How'd that happen? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's part of your confirmation,
crazy.
bro.
All right, caller. Thank you, bro.
I appreciate you, dog. Thank you.
We got to take one more call, my brother.
Yeah, one more thing real quick, bro.
Go ahead.
Yo, one more thing.
Yeah.
As Christians, I feel y'all should be more connected to the earth, man. If you guys believe God created this, we should take care of the earth, take care of the rivers, of the trees, of nature in general. That's just my last 2 cents, bro.
Okay, my brother. Thank you. Appreciate you. Okay, let's go. We got to take one more phone call, and then it's a wrap. Here we go. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
Homie, how'd that happen?
Okay, he hung up. Okay, let's see. One more phone call, you guys. So let's go. Let's get that in. Okay. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Angel from Sun Valley, San Fernando Valley.
What's going on, Angel? How you doing tonight?
Yeah, what's up, Tony? Yeah, what's up? Yeah, I just want to ask a quick question, something different. Have you ever heard about when, for instance, if you look at a clock and the time happens to be, let's say 11:11, and you happen to see those numbers, do you think that's just a coincidence, or you think it has a meaning to it? I don't know if it's happened to you guys where you just happen to look at the time and it happens to be those numbers. And, I heard, go ahead.
No, I the only time I recall, I woke up one time at 3:33. Maybe it meant something, maybe it didn't. Yeah. I don't know, but that's the only time that's happened to me. But please continue.
Well, no, only because I've heard about it. I heard about it, so I was just like, it's just a coincidence, but for some people, they look at it in some kind of spiritual way, that it's some kind of meaning, it's some kind of whether angels or whatnot, and I don't know. I just thought I'd call in and ask something different, because all the other callers asked good questions that I just thought I'd ask something different.
What about you, Marvel? Anything you know anything about that?
So those are called angel numbers, bro. They're angel numbers, and they're supposed to be associated with you and your travel or your journey through this matrix, what they call a matrix. Yeah, whenever I look at the clock, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I always just so happen to look at the clock when it's 1, 2, 3, 4. But I don't want to speak on anything and say it's facts, because I don't know yet, bro. So I wouldn't be able to answer you, but I do know there's supposed to be something deeper behind it. That's all I can say.
All good, my brother.
Yeah, okay. I was just yeah. Well, thanks for taking my call. Shout out to Roadium Radio, and Marvelous Inc., Tony A, and thanks for taking my call. Have a good night, guys.
Gracias,
Thank you, my brother. Okay, Marvelous. We can take these off. Thank you, guys. Thank all the callers for calling in. Thank you, everybody who participated tonight. Thank you, everybody who asked those questions. Greatly appreciate. No more calls, you guys. Our time is up. We tried to get everybody in. And you know what? When I tell everybody, okay, you know, we got to let you go, I really do not mean that as disrespect. I'm just trying to be mindful, please, of all the other callers that want to call in. So other than that, Marvelous, to wrap this up, how did you enjoy tonight?
I always enjoy it, bro.
That's good. That's good. As far as your podcast, so you went live this week. Now, I noticed you kind of been going live randomly.
Yeah.
Whether it's Monday, whether it's Tuesday, whether it's Thursday or whatnot. Is there ever going to be a set date, or is it right now you're still trying to figure things out?
I'm still learning, figuring it out, bro. Yeah.
Next week, anytime.
Most likely it's gonna be Marvelous Mondays. We're
Okay.
gonna try to stick to that. So depending on the team, if they're available, also
Okay. Other than that, you know what? Shout outs, and then I'll give mine, and we'll wrap it up.
Shout outs to everybody that tunes in, everybody that comments, everybody that subscribe. I really appreciate you. That donations, I appreciate you. All the stuff that you send to me, teaching me so much. You send me a lot of stuff that I don't even know about, and I really appreciate that. Shout out to my kids. I love you guys. I just want to give a shout out to my cousin, Big Sick. You got a lot of you guys know him in that when he was rapping and stuff like that. But I want to give a shout out to him because I watched him grow throughout the years, and he's become a very good father. And I really respect that, the way he carries himself and the way he talks to his children and just, giving advice. And I really respect that in him. So I just want to give him a shout out and the team as well.
Awesome. Go ahead. You guys want to do the super chats?
Yeah, there's a few.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, Michael Rosa has dropped $2. They said tortas or gorditas.
I love both of them, but if I had to choose, I'll say tortas.
Okay.
And I'm talking about food.
I know. What are we talking about right here?
I'm talking about food. So.
Okay. Michael Rosas dropped another $2. He said, "I fools fear Mayito."
Fear Mayito?
Oh shit!
Damn. All right.
Okay. Christian Barajas dropped $4.99. He said, "I enjoy conversations with Marvelous, but is Freaky Tales canceled?" Question mark.
No. We were just on like 2 weeks ago. Or a week ago. No, October's coming up, so we're gonna be doing that a lot more. So be looking out for that. It's just that look, here's my thing. I don't want to bring Marvelous on too much because some people will say, yeah. Some people say, no. I would rather bring him on the conversations. Maybe we'll bring him in as a guest on Freaky Tales once or twice, But my thing is just like, I want you guys to miss him. I want you guys to miss him. I just don't want to bring him on every week. But yes, we're gonna make it good. I also want to bring in some other people. So go for it, man. Thank you.
Okay, Isaiah Chavez dropped $5. They said, "Dude, I feel the same way. I enjoy the convo with Marvelous, but we need Freaky Tales, carnal."
Well, Halloween's coming up, and we all have Freaky Tales. I promise. Okay.
Okay. Christian Barajas dropped $9.99. He said, "First question: What's a moment in your childhood that changed you completely?"
Shit, I mean, I don't even know if I have a moment like that.
When you first DJ, no?
But to me, I have to go back to when I was a kid, more like elementary, than in like middle school or high school. I just don't know if I can recall a moment, because that's a big moment to say that's what changed your life completely. I don't know if I have one of those. I just think it was accumulation of things that changed and like shaped and molded me. I can probably say, okay, here's one. When I saw scratching for the first time, I thought it was rocket science.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. What about you?
Since we're talking about forgiveness and stuff on this episode, when I was younger, I had somebody give me, he was a professional, what was it? What do you call it? Would they do tricks with bikes? Like a GT or BMX, and he gave me a GT Redline.
Wow.
It was one of his prized possessions, bro. And it was a very expensive bike at that time. I was young. And, my dad was in and out of prison and, going through his addiction. And my grandpa used to lock that bike up in the front pad. And my dad broke into that house and stole my bike and sold it for dope. And I was young, bro. I was like 11 years old or something, I think. And I was so hurt. I was so fucking, I felt destroyed, And my grandpa confronted him. He backed me up. And I had all this resentment, along with everything else of my dad not being there, But I remember that the day he was dying, he was on his deathbed, and my aunt told me, you should go see your dad, mijo. We don't know how long he's gonna be here. And I was like, man, I didn't really want to go, But I went and I talked to him, and he couldn't hear. They said he could hear me, but he wasn't talking back. His eyes were closed, but he did squeeze my hand. And I that day I forgave him for that. And it was a very hard thing to do. I was 25 years old. I was still stubborn and mad at the world, you know?
Yeah.
But I remember forgiving him, you know? There was nothing else I could do. I didn't want to hold on to it.
How old were you when that bike was stolen from you?
I think I was like around 11 or something.
See, and that's a hard time for kids, bro.
Yeah.
That's a hard time for kids. And those are the things that like hearing that story right there, bro, fucking breaks my heart, bro. So I know how it is because I've gone through similar things like that. Maybe not exactly, and I've seen other family members go through things like that. Something that's really near and dear to their heart, and somebody just destroys it like it ain't nothing.
Yeah.
You know, no, you don't do that, man. Please continue.
Okay, second question. He said, what's your thoughts on brothers that can't show emotions to one another?
I believe there's certain reasons for that. I think some people, look, Marvelous, I met people, bro, that could just never tell you I'm sorry. You know, that we've replaced I'm sorry with my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For real.
that's what we've replaced it with.
For real.
And I don't accept my bad, or I dropped the ball, or I goofed up, or I'm not perfect. What's wrong was just the old school fashioned way of saying I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, and along with that, I'm sorry, I'll never do it again. And that's how you build trust again, you know. But sometimes I tend to think that it's your upbringing, you know, maybe your parents, and I'm just saying maybe, okay? Maybe they weren't compassionate, maybe they weren't loving, and maybe they were just cold. And you grew up like that. You know, that's a guy that probably doesn't respect himself. So how do I expect him to respect me if he doesn't even respect himself to even tell me I'm sorry when he wronged me? You know, I don't want to be around those kind of people, you know, but again, and I'm just saying maybe because I don't fully know, but I have met people that were very, very like cold-hearted, and you know, it doesn't mean that they were bad people, but they show no compassion, you know, and I don't know. That's the best answer, Marlis.
Yeah. Definitely.
Anything you want to add to that, or?
No, you said it. You said it all with that one.
Okay.
Call me weird though, but when people say I'm sorry, I kind of take it as they're just saying it to like cover it up and they'll do it again.
Right.
I'm gonna try if somebody say I apologize.
Okay, I apologize is also a good one. And you know what? Also nice words to say today still? Thank you.
Thank you.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. And he said, lastly, bring back Freaky Tales. So,
okay, shit, they're fuck.
Hands on, drop 199. They said, Tony, prove Spencer ain't Eddie.
Nah.
Oh, I did. He called.
They both called, yeah.
And hands on after that guy.
I told you.
And then while Eddie was calling, he dropped another 199. He said, Tony, prove that ain't Spencer.
I just told you. Go.
That's it.
Okay, cool. First and foremost, I would like to thank you guys. You know, it's funny. Back to Sunday at the Sunday in the park. You know, I just received so much love, and man, it's amazing. You know, and when I've said it's marvelous, I said it plenty of times. I've never made a hater in person. You know, it's always been all love. You know, and it's because I give love, I show love. So what I give and I put out there, that's what I receive. You know. So with that, I just want to thank once again everybody who showed up, everybody who tuned in on Sunday and watched the episode, and it's already up. And for those of you that want to become members and want to watch the concert, the behind the scenes, we have about between 47 to 50 minutes worth of footage. We have all the footage of the performers, footage of Magic, Little Rob, Baby Bash, High C, J Rocks, etc., Pepe Marquez, and I know I'm forgetting a couple of them, but you can watch the full episode. I think it's like $5 to sign up per month. And people complain, Tony, you're ripping off Raza. Wow, okay, cool, whatever. I'll give you back the $5 if you want them, okay? But other than that, I want to thank my team, News with Norbies. I want to thank Alex Cervantes Enterprise. I want to thank my son, B-SKANLESS, and I want to thank the Hip Hop Jedi. I want to thank Magical, our moderator, and I want to thank Marvelous for coming through and blessing us today. And once again, I want to thank everybody on the live chat, everybody who decided not to be on the live chat, everybody who liked, comment, subscribed, everybody who was here. Thank you. Much love, much respect. We are out of here. See you guys Sunday. Freaky Tales soon. Thank you.